Johannesburg to Harare, Cape to Cairo, and then everybody got excited.
He is the man who owns Liquid Telecom, the company that built the fiber backbone stretching from Cape Town to Cairo. A man whose philanthropy in education, public health, agriculture, and entrepreneurship has transformed millions of lives across Africa. A man admired around the world, yet permanently living in foreign lands. But who is he? And why did this extraordinary man choose never to return home? To answer that, we go back to where it all began. His name is Strive Masiyiwa, born January 29, 1961, in then southern Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe. His mother was a successful businesswoman in retail, transport, and farming, a rare accomplishment for a black woman in that era. At age 7, political instability forced the family to move to Kitwe, Zambia. At 12, he was sent to boarding school in Edinburgh, Scotland, where he received a European education that shaped his worldview. In 1984, after independence, Strive returned home. Determined to help rebuild the new Zimbabwe, he joined the state-owned Posts and Telecommunications Corporation, the PTC. Starting as a senior engineer and later rising to principal engineer, he stepped into the very center of Zimbabwe's communication system. To understand Strive's story, you must understand the power of PTC. It wasn't just a company, it was a fortress, a state-controlled monopoly that owned every telephone line, every broadcast link, every door through which information traveled. And in a country led by Robert Mugabe, who dreamed of shaping Zimbabwe into a one-party state, PTC became one of the most powerful political weapons. Strive Masiyiwa, as principal engineer inside the Posts and Telecommunications Corporation, the PTC. But what he found inside its walls was not innovation, it was paralysis. PTC was drowning in bureaucracy. Decisions took months, sometimes years. Technology was outdated, and ordinary Zimbabweans waited 10 to 15 years just to have a landline installed. As an engineer, Strive saw the problems clearly. As a patriot, he wanted to fix them. But the management, protected by state monopoly, refused to move. His biggest frustration came in when he proposed a joint venture to introduce mobile telephony, the future of global communication. His offer? 51% for government, 49% for him. The PTC leaders laughed, literally. They said mobile phones were a passing fad and that Zimbabweans had no use for such technology. It was the moment he realized the system would never change from the inside. So he walked away. In 1988, Strive founded his own electrical engineering company, Retrofit Engineering. It was more than a business. It was his first act of independence from a system designed to cage ambition. Retrofit grew fast. It secured major national infrastructure contracts, including building parts of the radar system at Harare International Airport, now Robert Mugabe International Airport. For the first time, the government needed him. Retrofit became profitable, successful, respected. But Strive didn't build Retrofit to get rich. He built it to create something bigger, Econet. He later sold Retrofit, using the proceeds to finance his real mission, breaking the telecom monopoly and bringing Zimbabwe into the digital age. Econet did not rise easily, not in a country led by an autocratic leader like President Robert Mugabe. For Strive Masiyiwa, simply trying to start a mobile network became a national battle, a battle he fought and eventually won. The legal war began in 1993 and stretched for 5 long years, ending only in July 1998. On one side stood Strive Masiyiwa and his young company, Econet Wireless. On the other, the state-owned PTC and the Ministry of Information, backed by the full machinery of the Mugabe government. Masiyiwa's legal team, led by Adrian de Bourbon, argued that PTC's monopoly did not extend to mobile telephony because the outdated PTC Act had never anticipated this new technology. In January 1994, Justice Gibson ruled in Masiyiwa's favor, a rare win against a state monopoly. But the government appealed, and the Supreme Court swiftly overturned the decision, restoring the monopoly and slamming the door shut again. Refusing to surrender, Masiyiwa launched a constitutional case. He argued that the PTC monopoly violated Section 20 of Zimbabwe's constitution, the right to receive and impart information without hindrance. It was a direct confrontation with Mugabe's political system, and a move many warned him was dangerous. In July 1998, the full bench of the Supreme Court ruled in his favor. The decision shattered the state monopoly and opened Zimbabwe's telecom sector to private players for the first time in the nation's history. Though Strive Masiyiwa won the battle, he unknowingly declared war on the Mugabe government. His victory in court was only the beginning. Stay tuned for Part 2, where we uncover why a man who built one of Africa's most successful companies was forced to leave Zimbabwe for good. Because Strive's story did not end here. Strive is still striving, reshaping Africa, one breakthrough at a time.